see what you picked in the community vote. But, that's for later. Okay. All right. Milos, 10 out of 10 today, that's for sure.
All right.
Millenium versus Penta Sports. Let's see. Okay, so Millenium take out Oregon, Bank, and Border. Unsurprising there. Chalet, Clubhouse, Skyscraper leaves us with Coastline, Consulate, and Cafe. Honestly, Millenium can definitely push Penta all the way through on Cafe. It just depends on how they do it.
They've had a good Cafe in the past.
Yeah, but you get Coastline and Consulate. Those are definitely two maps that Penta Sports have had good time.
Millenium as well had also had a good history on Coastline in the past, but it seemed like they've not been as willing to play it this season as they had banned it previously. But for whatever reason, they let it through so they could get Cafe and Consulate. Again, though, as we always say, don't bring Penta to Consulate. However, Millenium have also had a good Consulate, so all of these maps are ones Millenium in the past have played somewhat successfully against other teams, even in seasons where they were struggling.
Yeah.
The meta is very different now, so there are big changes, not to mention roster changes, and it's against Penta, but at the same time, like, at least this bodes well for Millenium having a chance here.
Yeah. And I agree with Millenium's pick on Cafe. Penta has historically come out and said, you know what?
They banned it last time.
Yeah, they'll ban it as many times as they can. It slipped in with the best of 5 final at 6 Invitational, of course, and we saw how that went. But
yeah,
it's definitely a map that Penta vocally say, we do not like to play this. So
yeah,
it goes in their way. And we saw how close it got on its 6 Invitational.
Yeah,
they brought it back, but it was a bit too close for comfort.
It feels like Penta basically traded Cafe for Consulate. They said, we're going to get Consulate, we'll let you have one, but we're also taking Coastline.
It is.
So I think they came out in the advantage of a best of 3, but they were already just based off the flexibility.
Yeah.
But
maybe they prepared something for Cafe.
I mean, I almost hope they don't have something good prepared, because I would like to see Millenium take this to 3 maps, and if they could take Cafe, there's a much stronger chance of that.
All right. Well, let's see what you guys think about this to see if it will be as close as Steven is calling it, and not at all. No, 78% 22.
I mean, 22% for a matchup against Penta. There's some faith there. I'm guessing that a lot of that's the French voting in favor of Millenium, just the regional support that they get.
The regional. I mean, honestly, Millenium right now are definitely on top of everything. But let's get ready to go as we start off with map number 1. We head into the frozen side of Moscow. This is Kafe Dostoyevsky map number 1 in this best of 3 series, and it's of course our world champions Penta Sports facing off against Millenium, arguably one of the best teams in France and one of the top in Europe, that's for sure.
Now they are going to be going with the Blackbeard, interestingly, on this attack, and as well as Ash. They are kind of playing a bit to the picks that we'd seen in terms of like IQ and Ash being high picks for this region, Haban as well. Blackbeard is kind of a mixed bag in terms of attacking this bomb site. We have seen it sometimes, especially from people like Redeemer that are big Blackbeard fans on attack and stuff like that. But it really depends on how you use him. There are some good windows to repel with him, for example, on both sides of the top floor, as well as even potentially using him to peek the skylight, so it's not a bad choice. But Penta are going to have those black eyes to be able to get some idea where the attackers are attacking from. However, this is a hard bomb site to successfully have black eyes on, because we see a lot of teams that will do IQ and a Thatcher up top, but Millenium, not playing to the current meta of doing that, are bringing in IQ without Thatcher, so they might be able to see that there's a lot of cameras on the top floor and not be able to do anything about them. So that's given Junos a nice advantage on this defense here, because they're going to get a lot of intel that you can't necessarily tell as easily from the top whether or not you're seeing like black eyes and stuff like that, especially with the distance. So
this is what I've been seeing, a lot more focus on reading room. And reading room especially. You will fight beyond that. You will take control of the stairs.
Map now.
Yeah, basically, it's very interesting to see how things have changed within such a small time frame. But say Millenium are in the attack, and they'll be bringing the IQ, of course, very good to counter any setups from Jonas. Historically speaking, we used to see Goga going a lot more on the IQ and Jonas playing a bandit most of the time. But it's a change. Of course, you have to adapt. You change different things, and of course, they might just be using a couple of C4s here to try and play from below, which is something.
A Pulse, a Valkyrie, and a Mira. There's likely some C4 on board.
Now, when you see, of course, the Pulse, that's Fabian downstairs. Jonas sitting in the cigar lounge and hasn't been able to find anybody's. Yogurts has dropped in with his drone. It'll get taken out immediately, and of course, Lion has become so strong in this push wrench here, though. The SR-25 gets the first pick here. and that's the smoke.
That's where I like to see the Blackbeard on, is that A window tends to be a lot more effective because they have usually the walls open there. Fabian, though, trades it back on Hicks quickly, and that is Hibana loss. That's
damn.
important.
Okay.
See, you lose the smoke, you lose the Hibana, now we're down to dogfights.
That is pretty huge now. It might force a drop from Millenium onto the side. As you see, with no hard destruction, they have to maneuver through the closed-up doors. And with the way that Penta have reinforced, yeah, that's going to be a lot more difficult. Now, of course...
Ooh, the long angle, though.
That's a long angle. Let's see, opening. Just open up Cigar and have a close angle for any defender to play behind the mirror window. But that's why you have the Blackbeard in this position.
That's why I like him on that side, because there's a lot of times they open that up to you. They're not going to reinforce it most of the time because they want that same accessibility.
Cuts off rotations.
Yep.
It's a very important position to have, definitely underplayed.
Now, important that Rise is checking out pillars there, because a lot of the reason you hold Reading Room is partially to be able to fight in pillars later, and you see IQ getting caught out. Now, of course, IQ is the counter to Pulse, so interestingly, the C4 just too far away, but that was a close call. Would have been interesting to get his own counter, but IQ could be looking for him here, but too afraid of a run out to do it right now. Going to go for a grenade instead.
They might be using Yansir here to cover as well, but he's still looking into the window. They don't know where they might get pushed. And the problem is here, if Fabian keeps using his heartbeat detector, then he will get spotted by the IQ.
You know, there's not necessarily good wallbang angle for him for that, though. He needs to get inside, and that's a little bit what Fabian's counting on.
Now Livin will be pushing in, and that is a first breaching round. But look at that, 25 seconds on the clock, and finally an E1D has been played with. Fabian gets one, but Livin will get the frag. Yogurts is still from below, but they still have to drop in. The diffuser is down on the floor. They still need to pick it up before they go, and Shate will definitely try to make their life a lot harder. The C4 will miss his Yogurts. Gets the hit from behind. Less than 10 seconds on the clock. Now the Blackbeard comes in, but Jonas will pick up the kill. He is detected by the E1D and gets shot from the side. But Goga will try to rotate back on the side. The Deagle has been popped up here by the Lion, but can't get the kill. Livin will get one, but the diffuser is nowhere near the site. And that'll just be a win through time. What is happening here? French teams have been having a big problem with understanding that this time is limited. It is one of your many resources in the round, and if you don't use it correctly, you'll just end up losing rounds for free.
Must just be a coordination thing in terms of them wanting to coordinate their attacks a little bit better.
They lost to Hibana still, but...
They did have some good pinches, though. They had some good trades in terms of that, and that is down to a little bit to intelligence. But it was surprising to see Penta getting marked twice on the EE1Ds, playing so aggressive. You saw, for example, Pulse Fabian getting picked off because of that. And then you saw upstairs as well, from the Valkyrie, just Junas getting picked off. It's... I don't know, they were a little... I felt like that was a warm-up round for both teams.
Yeah.
It didn't seem like their gunfights were as on point as we're used to seeing from either of these guys.
100%.
But it was, again, the warm-up round, maybe the first couple rounds here are going to be like that. We are going to see a Glaz here from Junas, something I feel like he's sometimes been struggling with. We are going to see Pengu on the Montaigne, something we saw, for example, Evil Geniuses do quite a bit here. It is a good strategy overall. Like, you definitely want to take advantage of it. His ability to push into Piano and then push subsequently into the White Hallway is very aggressive and really puts teams off and puts a lot of pressure on people trying to hold from the bathrooms. So I definitely agree with it. They are not going to have an IQ to be able to spot that camera out here, but I don't know if that's really what they're concerned about. Yeah. They're not pushing that same way. They're going aggressively inside with the Montaigne.
Penta is very well known for relying on the IQ sometimes on some of the maps that we see, especially Consulate.
Yeah,
not the case here. It's now going to be the focus on Montaigne. And we've seen Monty being so important in a push into the side hallway leading from Cigar because you can't get wallbang or shot from below. So that basically eliminates all of the setups that's been happening. EG played a very similar way of doing this, and it definitely worked out fine for them.
Junas is spending a lot of time. I'm not sure if he's just looking for black eyes or he's waiting for some kind of run out, but he's definitely over-preparing, I would say. Although the drone hole actually being watched by Pulse means if he tries to rappel up, he's got to be careful about it. But he could work it as well. As a Glaz, he does a lot more damage to that drone hole than Pulse does on the ump. So here we go, some droning going on. They have some idea what's going on the stairs, getting ready for that push onto the red stairwell where they're going to have the Montaigne drop and go for a push into Piano. But Yogurt's playing over on A. And
I like this double mirror window.
Yeah, you can see the
I have to highlight a mirror window literally every single round. It really is a
no Twitch or anything as well to be able to open that, because that could be really nice crossfire. If you could open both of those.
And Twitch hasn't really been played much against any team in any region except for Latin America, which is very odd. But They're even trying to push players out of reading room using Pengu's Monty.
He's playing in the middle, which is a bit different. Playing with a Ying as well means this is going to be very aggressive, and unfortunately for Alive, he's not going to be able to escape
but
that.
do they spot the second player? That's going to be up to Jonas here to find him, and he will get the second one, though,
nice
from the hatch. They'll get, they'll down him, but they won't be able to take him out, so that's definitely going to be a pickup there. You see the Monty coming in, can't get the hit. There's not a second impact to throw in, and Pengu will be able to get a res up on Jonas. Well, now there's quite a bit of time, a minute 5. Rise unable to get any hit along the outside here, as the backstairs have been taken by Millenium. They haven't been able to do much with that, though. And, well, Jonas, all he's got to do now is just set up in the back, and they can use him to force the defenders to stay in the back of Fridge with Shate's Lion popping the E1D. And you'll have, of course, the Monty rushing up front. And that's exactly what they're going to try to do. Goga will get a kill. Renshiro trying to spray in, but all he's hitting is the Montagne, and they can't really do much against that.
5 players alive against 2 here with 29 seconds. This is looking like Penta have this pretty much in the bag. They can land their shots.
Here we go. Pengu will get one, and the Vector will trade the second one. They're taking down Goga, but that's not the end of the world. They already used up everything that they needed, but Rise will make one happen, not the second. Shate and, of course, Pengu on the Monte will push in and get the final kill. That is a pretty sweet Valcam spot, actually.
Yeah, nearly a flawless round if Rise hadn't got that one kill towards the end there. But Penta playing a lot stronger that round. It was interesting to see him clear out the middle floor first before going upstairs. I thought that was a little smart, and then making sure that, as you were talking about the importance of reading room, so they were taking advantage of that to just get extra roam clear and take more people off the board, knowing, hey, we can push this fairly safely with a Montaigne combined with a Glaz and just push around aggressively. But I don't think they were expecting the angle from above that you had, I believe it was Yogurts on from the Legion was actually something that they were not counting on when pushing that, and that was a smart adaptation. Fortunately for him, the line got popped as well, exposing him.
And that's the thing. If the Glaz pushed in with the Monty, but you still had the Lion upstairs, and that's the thing. How do you counter the Montagne? Well, you have to maneuver around him to be able to take him out.
Unfortunately for him, he has a little bit more head shield than, say, someone like Blitz, where his head's a little more
exactly why I pick. It's not about the kills with the Montagne. It is about forcing your opponents into a spot where they cannot counter you without flanking. But since the flanks are held by Skylight with the Lion, well, Shate in this case that was staying upstairs, you're going to die anyways. So it's just a pinch. And even then, Millenium lost 2 of their players early on, and that's really what hurt them.
Now, I mean, had he been able to get the kill onto Glaz, it definitely would have been a good start, because Glaz was still a problem later on. But, you know, it is only 2 rounds in, but Penta won both those rounds, and they are definitely at the advantage on the one map that we thought Millenium had the best shot at here. But some of these have been a little, well, I would say just the first one was a little bit close. That second one definitely was not close. But they are setting up now down on the second bomb site because they won the top floor. They have to go down to Mining Dining, or I suppose they could go Bakery if they wanted to really just meme this up, I suppose. But they are going to be bringing a different attack lineup as well as a different defensive lineup. You're going to see the Buck this time as well. You're going to see Castle out from Goga to be able to set up a little more articulation to how they defend downstairs, reinforcing or rerouting them. But Blackbeard's still going to play basically the same way on the top floor. They still need to take it. Just like on Border, you need to take that top floor. Shooting up some of those. A little bit of debris there to give himself a better angle. Fortunately, that is not going to do a whole lot for him. But Goga at least pressured off here.
Oh, nicely done from Rise. He takes so much damage. One could argue, is it worth resetting at this point? But this is a great spot for the IQ to just sit in, because now with the Blackbeard pinching from the other side, looking into the bar, well, the rotations have to be forced into red stairs. And that's not going to be an easy part here, but Jonas gets the headshot. And this will make the castle barricades a lot more difficult to deal with. Sure, Rise still has grenades to play with, but...
Well, luckily there's Yogurts as well with grenades, so they're definitely going to need to take advantage of the grenades that are available to be able to clear those. If they want to clear them, I suppose they could open up some more angles from above and things like that with Buck, but Fabian going to make it a lot harder to do so as he takes off Blackbeard as well. That's a lot of coverage gone. They're going to really depend on having to actually play inside now, as they're not going to have as much coverage from outside. But then still Hicks staying outside as Habana not being effective at the moment. And they're losing a lot of time as Penta's burning it up upstairs. They're not going to have a lot to be able to do downstairs if this keeps working.
C4 is going to get thrown in. Jonas won't get the frag as he looks down into the fridge, and he spots the side of the head here. Sprays right into the Buck, and Yogurts is solo on HP, but same for Jonas now. Yogurts might just push into him. He does have a grenade to throw around. A couple of them even. but it won't be bouncing it just yet. He's pushing in very, very slowly, but Jonas is set right behind the car here, but he's going to get rushed. Yogurts will get one, but he's going to get dropped. And Rise will be forced to pick up Yogurts. At least that was not a trade, but look at the amount of time that is burned. 35 seconds left.
Well, it is down to PENTA to delay that on 3v3 here, but it looks like they are getting some good progress on the attack. They're managing to open up a lot of the floor. Buck overexposing himself to Shate, though. That is going to be a big problem because Buck was a big part of that attack from above. They still have potentially some nades on Rise. That's the last X-Cairo, but it doesn't matter. Fabian takes him down anyways. Yeah,
Rise very low on HP. The player that opened up the round for Millenium, unfortunately, is the last man alive, and Shate sprays him down with the Vector. A quick cleanup in PENTA Sports, just knowing where to pick apart in Millenium, forcing them to lose so much time and manpower before they can even get to a place where they're set up to push onto the site.
They had so much set up downstairs that they almost didn't even need it that point because none of the attackers could even make it that far other than them trying to push with the Haban at the end but getting flanked.
And there wouldn't have been too much time. You're going to get flanked anyways because they can still rotate out of dining. So
PENTA are playing a good balance of aggressive defense versus turtle defense. They're having some of their defenders playing a little more aggressively than others, and then some playing back and delaying. So they're really keeping them outside as much as possible, and then playing around inside to delay them for as long as possible. So by the time it comes down to a side attack, they've already lost enough people and enough time that it's just down to angles that PENTA are winning. And it is now 3-0 in what it could be a clean sweep here from PENTA if things keep up. But 3 rounds in, this is when people start getting the hang of it a little bit more. But Millenium on defense here, PENTA with that Montaigne again, not the best place for Millenium to be, as this has been very strong for both PENTA and EG when they've used it.
Well, Hicks and the team are setting up. It's going to be interesting to see how Millenium adapt to this because, you know, Livin has been, you know, praising adaptation, praising being able to now play comfortably with his teammates. But when you're playing against a team that is so adaptable like PENTA Sports, how do you do it? There's no specific parts of the map where you can say clearly, oh yeah, this was the turning point, because there's almost never a turning point. Is always going the way of our mixed CU team. It's fairly odd to look at here, but as PENTA Sports push in yet again, we'll see a similar setup as before with the Monty, the Thermite, the Glaz, the Ying, and of course Shate yet again on the Lion. That is very probably going to be setting up back again on the Skylight.
Well, it's been very effective.
The Vigil play, maybe that'll be something that'll help him out in this round.
Yeah, we'll see if they can at least stay alive long enough. That's the thing, is the Vigil's got to stay alive. He's not necessarily about killing, he's there about delaying, but killing is certainly a nice bonus. He's got those impact grenades to be able to rotate around a lot, but there's not maybe as many rotate spots on this map as some others to give him that flexibility. And with Fabian down here in the bakery level, it's going to be hard for him to be able to kind of wander around freely because Fabian is going to be an aggressive killer on him if he catches him off guard. But he's going to rotate upstairs and help Pengu here. Shate, though, already starting kills off onto the Valkyrie. Hopefully all those cams got tossed out. As again, they're not running an IQ to be able to at least count.
This is what I don't understand. Why do you have the Valkyrie setting up right by the doorway at this point in the round? You have to expect that there is someone that is watching this. You can't, at least, you know, checking the cameras, realizing you can hear the player that's trying to repel from downstairs.
At least Vigil playing some smart angles in terms of, smart spots in terms of moving around on floors so they don't know where he's at, and staying alive, backing up Rise here, but some nice opening of mirror windows, and then Ranchiro with a nice trade on it though, paying them back for that window getting opened. That is Candela's off the board. Now going to be relying a little bit more on the Montagne and the Lion and Glaz here for this push, but they are starting to fall back and just burn time at this point as the Lions are not catching them off guard.
Yeah, so far they can at least force them with the E1Ds to set up behind the site, and that's
they're turtling up.
Yeah, and honestly, this plays fairly well into what PENTA are preparing for because they do have a Glaz here, so the long-range play potential is definitely here. Though Jonas has not maneuvered himself yet behind his teammates, but might be able to catch off the Jaeger, and I don't know why Raj is moving through there. Shate will get one, and that's now Yogurts and the Vigil. Still alive, he sprays through the smoke, and Yogurts will get one as Livin gets 2 for his own. Goga turns it into a 1v1, but he does have the diffuser in hand. Has to wait until Yogurts rotate all the way from the VIP section. So there is a ton of time to play around with here for Goga as he sets up. The spray coming in, but he does not have an impact to get a shot through. Two Goo Mines won't be able to do too much with those, and Goga's, oh my god,
the Claymore clutch.
set up in the most predictable spot. On red stairs.
It's red on red, though. You gotta admit that is one of the harder to see claymores.
That tapestry, 100% needs to be replaced at this point.
The thing is, though, he was looking up anyway, so he was overly concerned. Well, I would say overly, because it is absolutely something you need to be concerned about. Is above you right there. When you're walking upstairs, it's very dangerous, very hard.
He had a Valkyrie camera that was still set up.
Yeah.
On the site, they had information.
I'll still give him credit for it. His jump out, though, helped a lot.
Oh yeah,
Liven
100%.
as well. Him and Liven almost clutched that out. However, I still think Goga, being one of the best thermite fraggers, could have had a very high chance of clutching that out, especially with the pressure.
Especially with him being set up in bar and at that point in time. He would have seen the rotation. So things were definitely going through the Penta Sports way, but now Millenium are back on the attack. 4-0 so far for the Mix EU, and they will grab a Zofia here, Millenium. That's going to be interesting.
I mean, maybe they're deciding, you know, we don't really care so much about getting the IQ, but I mean, that is less intelligence. However, like I said before, without the Thatcher, they weren't getting the full value out of that. So.
And again, when you say less intelligence, for people that might, you know, see this in a negative fashion, no, less intelligence means it's less intel. You don't know where the setups of Valcams are being set yet.
So, I mean,
you don't really know where the pulse is being. That's exactly what you meant.
Yeah,
where the pulse is being set up.
That's what I meant,
where he's using his heartbeat sensor. So that's basically what's been, you know, what's going on. This is why you bring that IQ.
No, they got to know they're going to be setting up a lot in reading room again, because that was a big point of contesting last time, was them fighting in there. But Fabian actually, instead of playing in reading room, is going to play back and train, something we've seen a lot of pulses do as well, because they can get a lot more.
Even set up a mirror window down there, which is not something we've been seeing too much of.
They want to aggressively defend it.
Oh yeah, I agreed.
Maybe it was not super effective being used upstairs anyways with the Blackbeard in there, kind of just opening up a lot of holes in the walls and things like that. And that is unfortunate, having to use that for the trapdoor, as there are, you know, there's usually a lot of other utility you could be taking off the board with those. But with the Zofia in tow, honestly, have the extra redundant.
I kind of agree with using the Ash charge there.
Well, you can bring breaches on a Blackbeard, for example, to do that.
Yeah, but then again, the stun grenades would be nice, especially if you're expecting a Jaeger, so you can burn ADSs, etc.
Depends on how you're playing your strategy. Absolutely, he is using them to burn ADSs right now, so I will give you that. It is a different utility for it. It really depends on your composition, but either way, like I said, they have the Zofia, so they have the redundancy for that, and it's not really a big deal at all in terms of utility usage, which they're going to go to use right now to open up some of reading room, start pressure Shate out of there.
I don't know if they have set up any ADSs to protect the Mira downstairs.
Probably mostly upstairs, yeah.
But there definitely are quite a few soft walls that can be exploited by Rise on the Zofia.
Well, they've got the intelligence here to be able to get him out with all the droning that they've done. They know his position, they know where the windows are, they know how to play this, but all he has to do is play time on it. He doesn't have to overpeak, but he's going to anyways, because Shate being the Mira
is burned through one. Not the second one, though, as he pops in, but the flash is or the concussion is a bit too far away. Shate is given time to remaneuver behind the second mirror window, as both have been used downstairs.
That's a nice angle, though, the way he's got that to be able to set up Renshiro, though. Taking down Junis is not great. Losing, again, at Valkyrie early for both these guys seems to be a pattern. Fabian getting caught with the line, not doing any good as those pillars are in the way. So smart play by him staying off, but Pengu trades it on to Hicks.
Nicely done here to at least turn it into a 4 versus 3, but Pengu will get the second. And that's the line now out of play. Jogurt's down. Fabian still downstairs on the pulse as well. Shate Pengu, the only man still on, like anywhere near the sites here. C4 will get thrown out. No, not just yet.
He's waiting.
Fabian, yeah, he's just leaving it in hand. Renshiro will get at least one for himself, but the user is in the hands of Rise. And they're waiting to get more info from their teammates. C4 will get thrown in, and Fabian will get the kill on Rice. That is a cash money throw, but Livin will get the kill on Fabian. 10 seconds remaining. Shate just has to survive, but no! Livin runs in, lands the headshot. Could have turned into a victory here for Penta Sports, but Millenium somehow able to find it and then dig very, very deep and find it within them to land the final kill.
So far, Livin the one helping it be potential wins there, finally turning it into one that time. A nice double C4 attempt by Shate and Fabian, at least getting one kill out of that, but then Shate being left without that C4 at the end was a bit of a problem. Not that he would have been able to necessarily get it off anyways, as he was shot from the flank, but a very nice attempt by Penta and a good attack by Millenium that finally worked that time because they were able to get Shate out of his room and finally kill him. But that was a bit scrappy of an ending as they he was in a good position to deny that defuse. So had they not had that flank at the end from Live, and I think still could have gone in the way of Penta and closed out the map.
It was Shate 100% focusing on denying the diffuser plant.
That's what man advantage is for.
Yep, that's basically it. But maybe we can ask our observer Marcio for a quick flash of the scoreboard. Thank you very much. Dziękuję bardzo, Marcio. 4-4 for Yogurts here is, well, Hicks. Livin did get the 6 frags, and we saw him getting the last one there, but Hicks has been dropping off. Of course, all across the board at Penta, it's fairly close. Fabian leading the way with the frags, and this time not on Lion, so maybe he is trying to tell us something.
Yeah, you could have Shate playing that consistently. He's going to be playing some other roles like Ying. Pengu has been a pretty good not Blackbeard, Montaigne. It's like a giant Blackbeard ship on the attack, and I think it's been working for them. I haven't seen Pengu really messing up that Montaigne, so it's like, why change that? It's been working consistently. I mean, obviously the backup from Junis helps, or if Fabian decides to back him up as well. They're definitely being effective on that. And then Goga's kind of doing his own thing for the most part in terms of running that thermite, getting the plant down. Has been really reliable and consistent on playing his part. And I think that's been working out because he's letting the other guys get the frags while he does his job, occasionally getting a frag if he needs to or trying to clutch it out with his claymores. And there's how you open the hatch without wasting a lot of utility. But they are getting set up, and then of course Glaz's going to be effective up here to peek first. But I like the caution here from Junis because he needs to be alive long enough, and he's the one carrying the diffuser right now. Not that that would be a bad spot to drop it, but
there are around 3 spots there where you'll see somebody behind the mini bar, you'll see somebody behind each part of the fridge, or even behind the main bar, where you can get shot immediately, and that is one of them. This is the 101 spot to always check, and Renshiro just face checks Fabian and takes him out before the Ying can do anything, as we saw him before, at least being able to get a kill before the start of the round. Now, Shate has set up near the big bar here outside of the cigar shop, and he sprays in. Shots land
So
very close to Renshiro.
that was almost damage as well. But Montaigne says, hello!
What's up? Jumps out. Renshiro gets the kill. Jonas will get taken down, and Jogurts is helping out. He can jump back in, and he's going to just rush on in, but Hicks will get the C4 on Goga. Penta have been demolished here by Millenium, as the French just know exactly. This is the Elan. This is what you're looking for a French team. And Shate, though, dismantling Yogurts' head here. 2 players still alive. He will try to use Pengu to push in up front, but Shate taking down 50% HP. Flash right in, and of course, Livin playing the Ela, not something we've been seeing too much of, but at least those Jmot mines have been used fairly well. Pengu peeking in here and realizing I get shot from the open angles above. Shate setting up the claymores, making them a bit more difficult to spot just because of the red carpetry, but Pengu still in control of the main hallway.
So a lot of people left to kill, but still 45 seconds. This is doable as they are on site. No claymores, no EEVs.
Oh no, here we go.
Matter.
Renshiro will get one. Pengu, though, will refrag. Can he clutch this? There's still 3 players alive. Shate will get the second one. The claymore that he set up, unfortunately, that is not enough. And Hicks from behind will get the kill on Pengu. That is actually a claymore you 100% do not expect in reading.
That's 2, though, from Penta so far. They are pulling out those claymores. They leave their mark behind, that's for sure. But Renshiro's play, absolutely the star of the show right there. Monty pushes him and he says, I'll jump out the window and get a kill while I'm at
on the glass. That was
on Junis.
100% a highlight. 100% a highlight for the week.
That was a heads-up play right there, because what looks like a suicidal play was actually the best thing they could have done and completely turned that around, because not only did he avoid the Montaigne getting any progress there in terms of pushing him out, well, I mean, literally pushed him out, but they didn't even get the kill on him as he tried to re-enter the building.
100% Renshiro, I'll say it one more time, 100% Renshiro has been watching John Wick in the past week.
Absolutely.
And he's been trying
if
to
he could have
play it again.
pistol, he probably would have right there. Just jump out, or maybe more John Woo than John Wick.
You killed my dog.
Yeah, absolutely. But now Penta back down on the defense that is technically the harder one, but they defended just fine last time. Millenium actually taking 2 points here. They are making a bit of a comeback. As I said, when it was at 3 points, this is when Millenium can start to kind of figure out what they're doing. They seem to have done so to an extent, but Penta are still putting up a big fight. Even Pengu getting a kill as Monty walking around, still not wanting to give one up, and then Shate's Claymore. So even when they look down and out, they still got 2 more kills before it was out. So It's up to Millenium. They really need a man advantage early in a round, I think, if they're going to be able to actually close out some more rounds here, just because it's been very close a lot of the time.
Yeah.
But they are going with the attacker lineup they had last time when they were attacking the top floor. See if it can work as well on mining dining. But they're going to have to work some good angles here to pressure people out a lot faster, because taking that top floor was way too slow the last time they attacked this. They did bring a buck last time, which was somewhat effective, but then he died while trying to pressure the floor below. Maybe they could do a little bit safer now with Zofia and open up some of the floor with Ash as well, and just start opening holes with those without having to stand directly above the hole you just opened. So something.
Oh, here we go.
There's
SR25 doing the work, and
consider.
Fabian yet again falling first here as the Legion is now out of play, and of course
He's been the top fragger though, so if you're gonna kill someone early, that's the man to do.
That's definitely him. And
Shot
Renshiro with 9 frags on the board, definitely impressive here, especially with Millenium trying to claw their way back into this one.
Well, they are doing a good job of it so far though. Fabian getting maybe a little too cocky with their early 4 points there, having to fight this back. But hey, being the IGL means now you just have more time to communicate with your team and strategize for them. So
I think we overstressed that when it comes to Fabian.
all we want is more Fabian talking, right, to people. So
yeah,
he has proven to be an eloquent communicator.
Oh, yes.
Nonetheless, though,
Renshiro with one more. Goga will fall. And that's, well, Pengu, Jonas, and Shate left alive. Millenium cleaning things up very well. It seems like holding off this window with the Blackbeard has been so successful here, but they push in. Jonas trying to go for the spray. He's got 12 more bullets in the magazine. C4 thrown in right next to the Lion. We won't get the kill just yet. Pulls out the Deagle, sprays in, and somehow...
That's the second time now we've seen that fight.
He still had 10 bullets in the mag to try and clean the last one up, and he had so many angles. It's like the dirt from both players there, but Yogurt somehow able to claw it back with 60 HP left. But there's a minute on the clock, and Penta has Shate and Pengu alive. Definitely the 2 players you would like to have.
They've got a lot of utility left, though, on the attack side. They've got a ton of breaching grenades. They've got the Lion as well. Unfortunately, they run out of ashes, but they've at least got one
more
left.
lifeline.
And a Claymore. We know how good those are in this map.
Now, the last lifeline has been used, but there's still Nitro Cell. Pengu still has his 3 gas nades if he needs to use these.
36 seconds, too. This is actually working out in Penta's favor if they could just delay a little bit longer here, and that barbed wire is going to help with that.
Yeah, that's the last E1D that'll get popped, so you won't be using this once you have this bomb plant down, or the fuser plant down. Concussion nades are going to get thrown in to try and push Shate away as much as possible. Pengu now down to 50% HP as a quick run through the hallway comes in. Shate will throw in the C4, but he can't nail it here. Yogurts will get the kill. And yet again, it's Pengu alive, but Rise cleans him up. And this is really close. 4-3 now, and Millenium are 1 round away from taking it into overtime. Definitely Penta Sports getting very, very angsty to try and finish up the game. And then Millenium is able to claw it back. They've been very comfortable on these, especially when you have the plays with the Blackbeard outside with Renshiro. Renshiro in general playing extremely well for Millenium.
Yeah, and it goes down to what we were talking about before in terms of like what Fabian was saying in the interview, where they're playing very aggressive. And we're seeing Millenium, and Millenium, as we were talking about the French teams, playing a lot slower and a lot more careful. You saw it got down to the last 10 seconds there. But their carefulness is paying off now over time because they're starting to learn the positions that Penta are playing. They're starting to learn a bit more about their strategies. And it's now playing into the hands of Millenium, playing that a lot more carefully, a lot better in terms of catching them off guard. And Renshiro, Yogurts, and Live, and all being a big part of that. And unfortunately, we're seeing Shate and Fabian sometimes getting shut down kind of early. Especially, Fabian just mostly getting shut down. But he's going to switch up to the Jackal this time instead of Ying. So maybe he's going to be playing it back a little bit more, or a little more cautious in terms of trying to get some intel instead of trying to be more aggressive of a Ying player. Obviously, he doesn't need to be peeking into skylights where he doesn't have to, like last time. But this top floor still going to be a little bit of a struggle for Penta here if Millenium keep up what they've been doing. However, Millenium, I would say, have been a little bit better on attack sometimes than defense here.
I like to see the mute plays, that's for sure. Of course, Penta bringing the Jackal in this one. So that'll be another way for them to combo with Shate's Lion.
Yeah, this is definitely going to... I mean, mute is going to be interesting in terms of whether or not it helps stop the Lion, but unlike Dokkaebi, mute doesn't stop Jackal. So it is going to be something that they're going to use to track him down pretty reliably here, assuming they can get some footprints. We don't necessarily see him looking for him yet, though.
Now Livin moving around here. He's going to get spotted, but of course he does sit on a mute jammer. So, as you just said, Devin,
Yep, good
won't
placement.
get spotted.
That gives him some flexibility and movement there. Because it is about the size of the mute jammer, he's able to move freely on that one particular area. So that is actually a good use of the mute to deny a line in that sense. And that's primarily what that's for, other than denying a little bit of drone movement as well.
And Fabian just clearing out the normal checklist here, making sure there's no cameras that can be used. There's no mute jammers that are set up in places where they can, you know, possibly hinder their plays upstairs. And so far, so good, and so silent on Kafe.
Yeah, there's a lot of people upstairs, and they're just trying to hunt the one person downstairs, which they cannot find. Where is the fifth player here? There we go. He's all the way over in the corner. So they are all upstairs as he jumps out. Does get the kill on the Junis, and that's unfortunate. That is the glass down yet again from a jump out. So he's got to watch his sides more. He's not really ever having anyone cover his flank when he's on the rappel. And surprising that the Penta's not doing the same thing to the Blackbeards of Millenium.
No, Pengu will try to push in. Here's Fabian will end the shot, and he takes down Rise, so that is no more mute. But he did do his job, and the kill on the glass is definitely a huge kill for Millenium leading into this attack, because now there's nobody watching from the skylight, at least not until Shate is able to rotate upstairs. But no, he's going to be staying here behind in the cigar room. Goes in for the spray right next to Yogurts. Won't be able to take him out just yet. C4 will get used here against Pengu. Comes in and just forces the mirror out of position. Shate will trade out one, but 2 kills coming in very quick for Millenium. 2 players left alive again. Shate will get one of them. That's Renshiro on the floor. Nyx is low on HP. As you see, the Valkyrie cam has been taken out, but Livin will take down one, and that's Pengu out of play. Shate, last man alive, still have an E1D to play with, and 30 seconds on the clock. He'll pop the E1D and try to maneuver around, but the mirror window has been opened. If only he knew. Livin is ready, and he'll get the kill, and we will go into overtime here, 4-4. Millenium bringing it back. This is definitely not something Penta were looking for, because you see there Shate with the lion. Yeah. Peeks in the side, but that's just, you know, he wasn't really expecting anybody to stay there, even though he peeked around, because he moved immediately back into holding the angle from the bar. Couldn't really do anything against that 2v1. The cross angle was just too difficult to deal with. We're only human. I know he's a Rainbow Six god, but still a bit human here. But Penta Sports will be back on the attack. We'll see Fabian yet again on the Ying, letting go the Jackal. Yeah, so I mean, I don't think Pengu was being as careful as he should have been. He pushed it very aggressively, opened the mirror window, which was good, but he was pushing into a nest of defenders, and I think the defenders all playing upstairs was smart, because knowing the roam hunting was going on, not just from Monty, but also Jackal being on the board there, means they were in a situation where they needed to kind of turtle up, and that was the smart play from Millenium, was to just keep everyone in a position where Jackal wasn't going to be as effective. He did catch one off guard downstairs a little bit earlier, but it was not a huge impact in terms of that. And then being able to play upstairs gave them enough crossfires for someone like Pengu not to be able to get the control that he wanted. Also, he wasn't pushing something like the White Hallway. He was pushing into Freezer, where there was obviously flanks set up for that. So it was a good kind of like slow reverse encircling by the defenders, where they just kind of back-to-back at the point in terms of crossfires around the Freezer. And it definitely paid off. And then just Shate not really reading into the fact that there was someone in the bathroom still was he was so overly focused. We've seen that again. He gets a little tunnel vision towards the end there. Yeah. So it's pretty normal. You can't really expect somebody to pull this one up. But here we go. Yogurts will be the one to fall. That's Fabian that will get the kill. Oddly enough,
a lot of health though.
It was a peek out, but still, here we go. Livin will get the kill on Jonas, and yet again, this time on the Zofia will go down, and they're putting quite a bit of effort on holding all the way down near the bakery.
Yeah. That's a late camera as well, and I believe Fabian saw it, so unfortunate for Hicks, who's going to be checking that in just a second. Going to see Fabian, though, who's dancing a little around outside looking for more. But nonetheless, it looks like that one camera does stay up. So it is one people off. Junis just doesn't matter what operator he plays, seems to die fairly early, unfortunately.
He's been hunted down. Jonas has been known for being...
don't like him.
Yeah, Jonas has been known for being an explosive player that you would really not like to face in a 1v1. And when you go for a quick peek against him and you take him out, you give yourself a pretty big advantage, because then you can tilt arguably one of the best aimers in the continent.
Yeah. Well, they are starting to make some progress. At least a minute and a half left, and they have at least gotten control of Cigar Pengu in place, but he has lost a fair amount of health, and the goo mines are certainly not going to help with that. Lion's finally getting popped up, but that was just the first one of 3. So they still got a little bit of a utility left in terms of pushing this, but they've got to get people out of the freezer a little bit. At least the C4s are getting baited out. Monty's doing a good job blocking 2 of them now. That's very important in this push, as smokes are also getting baited out.
Oh, the Ying will lose at least one of the Candelas, and that's Pengu now eliminated. He definitely could not bait that one out. Fabian has to remaneuver. There's a minute left on the clock. There's still a lot of time, and I think Penta have been rushing this a bit too fast as Goga runs on in and goes in for the plant. Fabian only able to get one as Rise will peek in and get the kill. Renshiro low on HP as well. As the E1D now is on cooldown for Shate. They'll spot at the Mira. Shate will get the kill. He's fairly low on HP. Goga will jump down and try to rotate. Shate trying to go all the way up and now catch this from the skylight possibly. Hicks just peeking in. They have no information as using the E1D will give the attackers quite a bit of leeway. Goga lands a headshot on Rise. Hicks last on his own and Shate will position himself. He does not have any E1Ds to play with, as he will hear the Valkyrie tapping in, and he's going to spray right next to him as Goga comes in from the side, eliminates Hicks at the end, and Penta Sports take down the first round in the overtime. That was, that was execution.
Even though Pengu died, it took 3 C4s to kill him, and in that process left none to try and stop the defuse, and the smoke was just not in play to be able to stop it. Once they got that down, I love the fact that both of them completely ran out and repositioned. Getting the skylight, getting a different angle from Goga as well.
I mean, you have 2 angles. The important part is that Goga was able to run in uncontested because of the C4 baits, as you can see.
Exactly, yeah, they had none left. Not to mention, it would have been difficult still to try and push out without Shate getting the kill on them anyways, trying to push close enough to throw the C4, but they couldn't have even rotated around underneath to get the C4 kill, and that's the important difference, is they just didn't have a lot of options to stop the plant at that point. And it paid off for Renshiro, 11 to Shate's 10. Fabian still picking up some as well, so they are stepping back up on Penta side in terms of kills, but Renshiro and Liven doing a great job keeping Millenium in this, as they're only 1 point behind and potentially 2 points from taking this map if they can bring it back here, as they are on defense again.
This is what I hear, though. This is historically a weak map for Penta.
Yeah. Consulate, not so much.
Yeah. Millenium have been able to do quite a bit of damage on Kafe, but who knows what map 2 will bring if this is the case. Maybe Penta can just easily sweep, but then again, Millenium are pretty good as well.
They did win this last time Penta defended this. They managed to push their way down and actually win the gunfights to take this, so it is possible they could do it again, but it was a little scrappy and was somewhat due to Pengu probably peaking maybe too early and not biding his time in terms of forcing them to go for the plant first. But he did have to fight too, and I understand he was probably just trying to at least trade one down if he could first.
Oh, no.
These early kills from these teams. Hicks with a nice kill already onto obviously peaking Shate. I know you're a point ahead, but you really don't want to get greedy because Mira is a very essential part of that defense downstairs if they get that far. Unfortunate for Penta, who are giving away a little too much with their aggressive defenses. Maybe Fabian's shift W strategy needing a little slight revision in terms of maybe hold off on it a little bit longer.
Maybe see a bit more than the shift.
Rez actually playing a sledge this time. They're going something different. They're actually going to have some soft structure to say open a hatch, for example, this time.
Then again, you would say, oh, might as well just bring a Zofia at this point. So
I think that would be a better choice, but maybe just didn't work out from last time so well. So I still think it would be better, because when you stack a Zofia and Ash, you get a lot of utility to open up a lot of angles, because they're only going to reinforce so many walls that they might want to use, not to mention soft walls near mirror windows. So Junis, though, being able to play in here, unfortunately, moves too much to the last second, and the line nerf is not on board where
here we go. From above us, Renshiro, they'll just tap through the bar and take him out. That's already 2 players down. The Valkyrie on the rotation, of course. Shate going down first on the Mira. Well, that's the first kill from Hicks and the second from Renshiro. At least putting down the work on the board. Now Renshiro can definitely rotate in here from the red stairs and catch anybody off. Now Fabian is ready. He has laid down at least a couple of goo mines to protect himself, as Renshiro will go in and scout things out. He'll spot the smoke setting around very close open in the hallway, and that is an angle that Pengu cannot contest. And it will go down.
A bomb has been located.
Fabian doesn't.
Oh no!
Right there.
Fabian, no! He will get taken down as well.
Renshiro.
Renshiro. He only eats one bullet into the shield, and right now Renshiro is absolutely demolishing Penta Sports. As Goga runs in, gets the kill. He is, of course, the last man alive. They're trying to relay some information to him here. But for the rest of the team of Millenium on the site, Yogurts just sprays right into him. And while he gets dropped, and it's not the end of the world, as the attackers here, Millenium will take the second round in overtime. And this will turn into a 1-1 in overtime as we go into our final round.
A 3-0 to a 5-5. Millenium definitely showing a lot more. Did it get to a 4-0? Yeah, it's showing a lot more adaptation here from Millenium than Penta. It's just, Penta, what's going on here? Like, you guys were just such a strong start. Where did that go? Fabian bringing the Jackal again, Junis on Zofia again. Those two, if you could stay alive for the first minute, please. That could probably help these points go a little more on your favor.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many
Definitely
bombs
so.
as
I
they
mean, Penta have been peaking a bit too much. Then again, it's Millenium that have been using Rise and, of course, Livin to get quick peaks out here. But with the fact that they're bringing Livin on the Ella, there might be a bit more dedication into reading room, just because you can't use Ella at distance as well as you could before. There's a reason why she's not a must pick anymore, because of the recoil. You have to use her as a close quarters combat operator.
On this map, we did see Eclipse playing as Ella as well, so it seems like maybe just with this particular map, the
saw
fast
Laxing as well, but that was a
well,
very interesting moment.
Didn't see much of Laxing, unfortunately. So.
Yogurts is set up in the train now, very standard Mira setup. They have not opened the side, the wall from Red Stairs leading into the steam engine room, so it's definitely a different way of doing things, because usually you have that completely open so you can just shoot through anybody that goes into the Red Stairs.
Yeah, it depends. Some teams will want to play it a little bit differently than others, but that is one way that is somewhat worked for a lot of teams, so definitely worth it, especially if you got the mirror window in position to capitalize on that, which they do. But Pengu is going to rotate all the way up from the bottom floor. They cleared that first. They're being a little more thorough this time, a little less crazy in terms of pushing on in, and they're going to even back that up with the line to make sure that this Montaigne push is going to catch them off guard. However, the mirror window is just going to be looking right at him. He's going to be looking back at it. And
how do they bait the C4s? That's going to be the main point here, because there's three of them, and three of them can definitely be deadly. Jonas rotating in from the side, trying to catch somebody looking into the bar, and at least have some info on one of the players, and he will find the Ella, and that's Livin out of play. The Mute Jammer was set right for Livin to, for him to use. The Claymore will get set up again. We've seen how deadly that has been for Penta Sports, for Goga especially.
Well, we'll see if it catches anyone, but both Goga and Shete have caught people there. They have been placing Claymores pretty consistently on Red Stairs, just in case, they get desperate at the end. But this is slowing down quite a bit for Penta, but this is a good change to see, considering this is the map and
I really like
here.
this. This is very good use of the time, because there's a minute 24 left, and they're just baiting out the utility. They still have a lot of time to play with. They still have quite a bit of utility to play with. So
and they're basically on site.
And Penta are just taking their sweet time before that final play.
Oh,
but
flank.
Hicks from below. This is not something they've been looking for.
What is he waiting for?
No! What are you doing? No! Hicks, no! No! Shate gets the kill.
Wow.
But it's now two players left from Millenium.
Well,
Too cocky here, Hicks.
well,
He'll go down as Penta left with 4 players, make that 3. Shate will go down as Yogurt's on the leash and peeks in. Gets one more. Jonas will trade off 1 player for himself. Now 2 versus 1. The diffuser will get planted. Penta definitely in the advantage of Fabian will rotate into the top floor. Can use the shotgun to open up any firing positions that he might want to have, and that's exactly what he'll be doing. Rise just trying to get someone off of this here. Even see the pistol GRG-15 picked up on Jonas instead of having his 7.62. Peeks in here, gets a couple shots down range into Rise, and Jonas will clean him up. Can we talk about that? Can we talk about that, okay?
you sure?
Can we talk about that?
And, it was a situation, too, where, I see you referring to Hicks.
Yes.
There was a Claymore right there.
100%.
There was a Claymore right next to him, so he couldn't push up more. but he
Hey, let
had
me
the
put my
shots.
crosshair over them for a
It's like
few seconds.
scanning him with the crosshair at that point. Yeah, that was
Goga the MVP,
Yeah.
pretty good.
despite Shate and everyone else almost, except for Pengu.
14 kills on Renshiro, Yogurts and Livin
of
picking
assists,
things
though.
up. Hicks could have stopped that entire round, dead in its track, denied everything, and the Lion would have been the first casualty.
Well,
Hindsight,
either way, that was
right?
that was probably Millennium's best shot at getting a map off Penta here.
Yes. It's a very impressive showing.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that. And
An impressive comeback.
I will award Renshiro my personal MVP of this map because
Yeah, absolutely.
we haven't been seeing too much Blackbeard, and we haven't seen too much Blackbeard that is holding off on those eastern windows.
Especially getting like a 3K from like inside the building.
Yeah.
At one point, just
No problem. See, the map knowledge and prediction of the opponents
and
alongside,
the Lion
of
helped
course,
as well.
it's a bit of a help, that's for sure. Of course, the drones that are helping in with them.
Yeah.
Millennium were fairly impressive. They came back from an 0-4. Keep that in mind. They took
Heck
it
of a
overtime.
warm-up.
Yeah, and they took it to the final round. But I fear that with the loss of that final round, it might actually break Millennium's spirit. A lot of times we see teams that are very emotional. When they lose a map and lose the way that this happened here, where
Especially
they were
the
so
map
close,
pick and the one where this is our map to win,
and you know that this is a weaker map for Penta, etc. It's very similar to what we saw as well happening Six Invitational with the comeback on the map. So
yeah.
still not something that should have happened there at the end. They shouldn't theoretically have been able to bring it back 4-4 and take it into overtime. But when you get to overtime and with the way that Millennium played, that should have been a victory for them because of how
Yeah.
Penta were playing, where they just opened themselves up and played a bit too cocky. But then we saw what happens when you get too cocky.
Well, yeah, it'll be interesting going into Consulate because it feels like Penta had this strong like start where their usual way of playing was working for them, and then it just stopped working.
Yeah.
And they didn't seem to really adapt terribly much to it. They were just still kind of playing that way, but they seemed a lot more scattered. It seemed less coordinated. It seemed like they were just trying to find picks wherever they could to get man advantage early and losing people early a lot of times, even with peaks. And I think if that translates over to the next map, Millennium have a bit of a chance. But if Penta take this short break here to recollect themselves, get back to kind of like, okay, guys, we were way too sloppy on that. We gave up, 5 rounds in a row, basically. Like almost, it's a bad position to be in as a team where you're the strongest team right now in this region, and you lose that many rounds in a row. You're going to be feeling like, okay, whoa, hold that.
Calm down,
Yeah.
bring it back.
Stop doing dumb things, and let's play smarter.
That's exactly what I could imagine them.
Yeah,
Yes.
but hopefully people like Renshiro can continue to shine on maps like Consulate as well, which is going to be more of a struggle.
And it still is a map that is very functional for Blackbeard, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. There's definitely a lot of things, but this is one where like they could also. And the thing is, like, it seemed like Millennium was more than willing to capitalize on runouts onto the Repeller, especially Junis, who just never had good coverage. Whereas Penta doesn't seem to be willing to do that to Renshiro, which Renshiro getting the amount of kills he's getting probably seems like it's worth it even if you have to trade to do it. You have someone maybe like a Castle where they're not necessarily as important later on.
Then again,
do a runout.
he did do it when he was playing Mira, so we still see a Rise that pushed up.
Yeah.
But let's get ready to go into map number 2. Again, a reminder, if you missed that first map, Kafe Dostoyevsky, make sure to rewatch it at the end of today's broadcast. Because right now it's Penta up 1-0 after taking it 6-5 with a comeback. 4-0 up for Penta. Millennium bring it back, take it to OT, and then miss that final round. But now, map 2 Consulate. It's historically a great map for Penta, and also a pretty okay map for Millennium. So
yeah,
see how they square off on this. And very expectedly, it's the IQ being picked up on Penta. But this time, it'll be Jonas instead of the normal Goga, as Goga's only on Thermite.
Well, he likes that Thermite. What can you do? But they are bringing Lobby for their first bomb site, which is not completely, unusual in a sense, but it is one that is less common to start out with, I think, for a lot of teams. Although I feel like Europe plays Lobby a bit more than some of the other regions do.
Yeah.
So it is one that they are a little more well-versed on. But this is a map where it's going to be interesting to see how the roams play out because it's a bit more spread out than Kafe horizontally. And still just about as much vertically. So there's going to be a little more room for roam play than there was in Kafe in terms of the way they actually play it out. But they're going to have stuff like the Pulse probably down in Archives, which is a typical thing to see to play for underneath the bomb site. But he's going to have to actually capitalize on it well because we've seen a lot of times where if he misses the C4, the pulse becomes kind of dead weight at that point. Because a lot of times he doesn't rotate up fast enough to be able to do anything with his ump.
Yeah, because you are relying on
Defuse a bomb.
the pulse to stay alive for as long as possible and then deny a bomb plant at the very last second.
Yeah, and those stairs, again, what is going on here with these guys? Fabian getting just
Get
picked off.
smashed.
They are upset about losing Kafe, I feel, and that passion, as you mentioned, showing itself. But that was from the Pulse, who was not actually all the way downstairs. Definitely not going to be dead
Playing
weight.
on Spiral Staircase, he gets the first kill,
Yeah,
which is pretty good, actually. You need the Ying to push back your opponents, especially
that main lobby area.
Your main point of view here is we will try to push admin, and then from there, we'll take control of the meeting room, and we'll try to push the vendors out of position, and then we'll throw our Ying Candelas downstairs
Or the
through
other-
the open hatch.
The other approach of just taking Projector with Ying, too, and just saying,
Yeah.
you know, flash the heck out of Projector,
Yeah, yeah.
storm in.
So there's definitely ways to do it, but they rely on Ying as well because it allows your team to be a lot more effective
Shock
with
and
the
awe.
Candelas. Yeah,
Gentlemen.
that is exactly the way to put it. Shock and awe.
I love the idea that Valkyrie is watching IQ on the camera and then gets the kill. That is irony at its finest there. So Hicks with a nice early kill as well. They're just they're not getting into the building very successfully here as they finally get in and do almost nothing with it and just get killed again from
My
Liven.
God, Liven,
Liven!
2 more! Yogurts will take the kill at
What?
the end there, but Millenium just
Going.
dismantling Penta Sports here.
They like corralled them into this spiral room right here and just
Come on!
massacred them. It was just, I don't know, it was ambush at its finest after killing 2 outside. So Millenium with a strong start, making up for that last round on Kafe. Renshiro bringing Blackbeard yet again. Liven going to be on Jackal. We'll see. Shate on the Vigil? Nope, he's going to go with the Echo. He's actually a very good Echo, though. But I do like to see Shate on the roam sometimes. We did see, for example, an interesting Caveira roam from him on Consulate first play day for them. And that was a bit of a change-up, but he's going to go with the Echo instead and not play that weird.
Shate is a very competent Echo, historically speaking, so has been very good on the operator. Again, Goga going for the Ella, not a usual thing, but this signals an aggressive play. A lot of teams have been going through with the Mute, but a counter-argument to picking Mute, as much as I love having Mute on my team or playing him myself, is that you won't be able to destroy the utility that your opponents are using, but in this case, there's only a bomb.
Yeah, they're not bringing a Thermite because, I mean, they might not have anticipated this bomb site, or they just might not care, but it's definitely worth caring. It seems like they're more of a setup for attacking, particularly the top floor. Because in attacking the top floor, the Blackbeard's going to be more useful because you're going to get better angles. Habana's going to be useful to open up things from the windows. IQ's going to be useful to clear out the cameras to make sure you can rappel a little more safely outside. It is in the Jackal, of course, to hunt down any roamers on the bottom floors. But unfortunately for Millenium, Penta went downstairs, and their lineup is going to be a bit more of a struggle. At least still going to get some utility, hopefully, out of the IQ, and not going to have what happened to Jonas last time. Poor Jonas.
Poor Jonas. Yogurts will go in here with the drone. And they'll try to drone things out so far. Renshiro set up outside here, trying to go for a pinch maybe in the connector room as they try to push the Mute out of position. Or, well, the Mute's already downstairs. As, you know, said, you know what, I'm not even going to care. You guys want to waste your time and waste your setups upstairs and admin, that's fine. Jonas, though, is ready downstairs, as well as Fabian on
They do not want to give up Visa. Both Fabian and Eunice both playing it, contesting it very hard here. They could end up with a trade at this point, but they just give up on it, which is probably the smart choice. Don't fight it, but it's going to be hard to take admin either.
And it makes a lot of sense here. Because you don't have any full hard destruction except for your Habana, you can't just attack the main garage door. So now we have to prevent them from taking control of the staircases and pushing us from the sides or from the back.
Yeah, the back is where they're going to really have to contest it. Luckily, they have Fabian on Legion, which is something that's going to help slow down a push from the back because they'll get that intel first. So Pingu trying to help out Fabian here a little bit as well. They are getting set up to try and fight this from the back as the top floor has been completely taken control of by Millenium. So far, the only real damage is half of Eunice's health. And now they're getting set up for the yellow stairs as well. They can place a Claymore there to make sure a run out, but unfortunately, Hicks does not have one. And oh no, it looks like they already got the Claymore, just couldn't see it from that angle. Shate, though, going to be the one to watch it. He's got to be careful about over-contesting before he can use that Echo drone. At least some good intel there from Fabian. Going to slow down Renshiro a little bit. That is one you need to slow down.
You know, with the amount of damage that Renshiro has been doing so far here. Jonas jumps in. What? No, Jonas, what are you doing? No. He drops the Jackal. But that's it. What in the world just happened? Invulnerable to bullets? What is this?
Well, they at least slowed them down.
Confused?
Yeah, that was you know, that was one of those plays where he obviously just kind of panicked a little bit by having the second attacker there that he wasn't expecting, and you know, potatoed it.
All right, well, 26 seconds on the clock, and now the drop has to happen. There's not many spots here for Millenium to push through. Fabian will get one. Goga getting low on HP as he'll get shot just a bit through the hatch in the bathroom, and a shot from Shot to clean up Yogurts. He still has the Echo Drone to play with here. Has the MP5 as Fabian gets one more. Spots in Renshiro, takes him out, and the last, well, that's going to be Hicks as Pengu gets a kill and takes him out of his misery. That was, all right. Do we need to talk about that again?
Well, so,
What
I
is
mean,
happening
as I
today?
pointed out a couple times during the round, they were slowing them down. That's really what won the round. You saw the desperation where they were just jumping down those death chutes of a hatch to try and get in at the end, and that was...
No hard destructor except for the Hibana. You're not going to use your utility there because it took them so long to take Piano anyways.
all they could open was hatches, and so they jumped down them to their death. Unfortunate. But that's what happens when you just pick the bomb site they're not expecting. Not every map, not every bomb site matters like that, but that particular one really worked against Millenium. They tried. They did get some frags in the potato.
It might be a reason why a lot of teams have been focusing a lot more on bringing a Thermite and a Hibana at the same time, just in case this sort of mind game comes
Especially when you got Goga, who's just going to play Thermite anyways.
Yeah.
You just, you know, I want to play Thermite. But they're not going to bring an IQ this time on Eunice saying, you know what, maybe we should just get inside instead. We'll give you Zofia. You just get in there. Don't get shot while you're hanging around outside. But they are going to be attacking the downstairs. Now, we were just talking about the lineup for attacking this. Much, much better lineup from Penta for that. Not only are they going to have Fabian to help track down the roamers along with Shate to be able to catch them out on the line, E1D, but they are also going to have plenty enough breach power to open up both hatches and the garage door. And then Eunice will be able to help as well with that in terms of breaching power, being able to potentially even, if he can push it through the yellow stairs, for example, and get a quick hit with the concussion grenades, can try and stop any kind of bandit from Yogurts trying to bandit trick the doors. They don't have a Thatcher, but there's more than enough ways to work it from Piano as well. Or even if he wants to, Eunice could go up. That was kind of probably not the best use of that, but he could go up there and even open up the floor from 2 floors above and shoot out the batteries if he wanted to with those. But unfortunately wasted 2 already. Rise off the board early. That is again a mute dying, but this time for Penta's favor, so good start from them.
You always use that. Usually you'll see one angle pushing into the console chamber, but now with the second launching into connector means that contesting from bathroom is almost impossible for a defender.
It's certainly a trap at that point. 'Cause
Yeah.
what are you going to do, jump out the window? I mean, it's not going to work for Renshiro this time, but he wasn't the one in there anyways.
Too far away and set up close to bathroom. It's not going to work out at all with the pinch play from Penta Sports.
Mute Jammer doing some work at least. Shate now going to have to face check it a little bit harder. At least going to use his EE1D to make sure it's safer to do so, that no one's going to try and peek him on the holes. They are clearing this floor very quickly now, opening the hatches. Hopefully Goga going to be working on that door as well. I like when they use that second one there for that angle so he could fight down the hatch a little safer. Get a better angle on it. And at least droning it first to know what he can actually do with that angle. Smarter way to do it rather than just peeking it and hoping to catch them off guard. This way you actually know where to look. And could potentially pre-fired as well.
Fabian, though, is coming around into the spiral staircase.
There we go.
See, that will take down the batteries. Jonas takes just a bit of damage, but you know what? No problem there. Goga should be able to set up his charge.
Here it going off now. That is garage open.
Oh, no! Finds Hicks on the rotation. And that's the smoke all up in yellow. Will go down. Renshiro, though, will push into Shate, take him out from below. Yogurt still will refrag. Goga now out of play, and that's the diffuser on the floor. That is a huge frag. Yogurt with another one. Headshot with the bandit. Now this forces Fabian to go in and fight the fight here. C4 already being thrown out. There's so many angles to watch for, but he's the last man alive versus 3. I know we praise him a lot, but this is a difficult one to go through. The Mira will go very low on HP here, Renshiro, but he has like no health to play with.
Yeah, if they just look at Fabian hard, he's going to die at this point. Unfortunately, he does still have 2 smokes left, if that helps, as well as the ability to track them down, but he's not necessarily looking to ping anyone right now.
A round that clearly should have gone the way of PENTA with the way that they started it just proves that Millenium are ready, and they're definitely adapting to the way that PENTA have been setting up these pushes. And even with the correct operator picks, it's not enough to push through Millenium. Despite
Losing the batteries, Yogurt's played that very well, getting a lot of kills downstairs. They're playing the yellow stairs very aggressively, and it working out. A little bit of a misplay there in terms of how they were fighting the yellow stairs as well. They weren't prepared for someone to be doing exactly what Shate did just the round before, which is being at the very middle bottom of those yellow stairs, kind of next to the black car, hiding. So lobby, oh nope, they're going to switch to console at the last second here, deciding they have a better setup for that. Shate finally going to be pulling out the vigil we were talking about earlier to go on that roam. Could be playing all the way downstairs or more in the middle or even just upstairs just to mess with them. It is good for, let's say he wants to play admin and be able to hold in there a little bit longer, because they're going to want to drone out admin before they try and attack it, and that is going to make it much harder for them to successfully push into the room and pre-fire it. They're going to have to depend on something like Lion as well to help with that when they jump in the windows, and then maybe some pre-fires. But that is also going to need perhaps Goga with some ADSs to make sure they can't just nade their way in. We'll see.
See the setup here that will open up the wall from bathroom looking into the yellow stairs. That'll help out any defender that needs to provide some backup for their Legion. Most of the time Legion we were playing from there, but look at that. Even Shate opening up the side with an impact nade to look straight into the yellow stairs instead of reinforcing it. So maybe taking control of the skylight above might be something interesting for the attackers to do.
Renshiro a little concerned about spawn peaks, especially on this map. This is, I mean, Kafe definitely has a few, but this map, I'd say, has even more spawn peaks. I like him opening the angle from there, but he's got to realize that doorway doesn't necessarily protect his body. He can still definitely shoot him there, so he's got to be careful with that angle. Gonna drone smartly up. This is a typical thing if he's gonna push for the projector. Something you see a lot of Blackbeards do, pushing up from that angle he's doing right now. Hopefully get a little coverage from Rise and maybe some Claymores if they've got some outside as well for any kind of runouts on him. But like I said before, that PENTA just have not been too keen on running out on Renshiro, which is probably working to their detriment, because Renshiro staying alive longer has not been a good thing for PENTA.
Well, Yogurt's setting up here outside of the connector room, at least on the window. And trying to find an angle on someone here, but Jonas is ready to go as soon as he hears the Blackbeard.
The timing.
Renshiro will go back up, and then he hears, of course, the zip line being pulled back up. Can't really push up just yet. I realize Yogurts is also holding from upstairs, so peeking in the bathroom
doesn't know he's right there.
They're waiting for some information to play off of, but hearing him maneuver outside is really all that they need. They have not been able to spot Renshiro just yet on the Blackbeard, who has been a thorn in the side of Pentasport so far.
Wow.
But here we go. Shate peeks in and gets the kill on Renshiro. That's perfect. That is definitely an interesting angle, and the second one coming in from Shate, taking down Yogurts. Nicely done here.
Yeah,
President Finn is doing the work,
Yeah, that's a 2K from him and only losing half his life. Even if he dies now, he's done more than enough work. And they're playing much, much smarter this time. The aggressiveness just not working as much, so they're actually leashing themselves in quite a bit, and it's paying off.
Oh, I love this. They're not expecting the open hole on the side.
Yeah.
And obviously, since he's the visual, well, he can't really be spotted. Unfortunately here for Fabian, he will, and he will go down.
They know he's playing around there.
Yeah, he's holed up behind a reinforced wall, and I like how they have set up these walls. The 2 breaching rounds left. Lippin will spray right next to Pengu, and finally will get the frag. They're still waiting, and possibly the Vigil peeking out for it. So here's Shate maneuvering behind the reinforced wall.
They know he's there now.
They want to force him out, and maybe it'll be time for the grenade to be thrown in for Rise.
Yep. 25 seconds left, though. They've got to make this kill happen.
Oh, he's got no frag grenades to play with, unfortunately. This all has to be done here by Shate, who drops in, does damage, but can't get the kill. And Rise will get the second one. 12 seconds on the clock, as now Jonas goes in for the fights, and Hicks comes in for the cleanup. 3-1 for Millenium. This is surprising.
Millenium are showing up today. I mean, yeah, after the first 4 rounds lost on the last map, or whatever happened, they had their cup of coffee kicked in, whatever it is, they are definitely much stronger than they had been before against PENTA. I mean, we're also seeing a little bit of sloppier PENTA than we usually do.
Oh yeah, 100%. Even with the way the Shate has been setting up, this is unlike unlike any time I've seen Penta play, which is they're relying on that personal skill to win out the round.
They're not trading a lot of times either. They're really, I mean, you're seeing a lot more trading coming out from Millenium. You're also seeing a few players on Millenium getting multiple kills. And it's a situation where it's like they're doing a good job pinching people out, getting good intelligence, and that's part of the reason you're seeing multiple kills come out from Millenium, is they're having enough intelligence to be able to play on where they know the positions are and to be able to fight multiple people rather than it just being one-on-one engagements. And that's, Penta just seems to spread out and engage one-on-one. I mean, we can't hear their comms. They might be just knowing everything all over the place and just losing their gunfights.
Can't capitalize, yeah.
But we're seeing like wall bangs and things like that coming out from Millenium, so it clearly seems like Millenium are having the advantage in terms of knowing where they're at, or at least playing smarter with the pre-fires and opening holes up, just catching them off guard. Like, for example, you saw Pengu getting shot in the bathroom there, just not doing anything about it, just sat in the bathroom the whole time. Unfortunately, that was it achieved almost nothing at that point. Renshiro gonna get some cameras out, and again, they're not bringing the IQ. This time, Junis again on the Zofia. Fabian back on that Jackal as well. Pretty much the same lineup they've been bringing before. Gonna need it to work a little bit better this time, as they're down 2 points. It's actually close to that point on Penta's map against Penta. That is not something I expected to be saying today.
Yeah. Neither did I, to be honest. I won't say I'm disappointed, but then again, it's not done just.
Could see map 3.
Yeah, honestly, I would be very excited to see where Millenium takes us with this, because this is definitely a Millenium that we have been dreaming of for quite some time. Give us the skill that we know this lineup and these players have and can offer. And so far, it's looking pretty sweet here for our French lineup. Rice will step in here to Jonas's concussion nades that are being thrown in with the Zofia. And Yogurts will get the information.
No,
he
he's
might.
there.
Oh my god, no, he can't get the damage done.
Oh, now
He'll
he's
be
marked.
detected by the E1D. Fortunate for him, but Rise will at least be able to get the kill on Jonas, who's just not feeling it today, though. Shate will refrag, headshot onto Yogurts, and Livin will get one more. Shate down on the floor, no more Lion right after the E1D, but Pengu will spot it here as we see the C4 being thrown right in his face. Goga will get one more on Rise, and this is getting insane for both teams. Hicks still alive with the smoke in hand in the waiting room, and Connector here goes in for the spray, but can't get the frag. He will give the information to his teammate, but he's going to get flashed in as you see the rush from Fabian, who gets the kill. Now it's a C4. Can Livin save the day for the team? But there's so much time left. He can't get it done, and it's Fabian, Goga, and Pengu alive. They'll re-maneuver to set up close-up angles, ready for Livin to rotate in as he snakes his way up. Goga should be able to hear him here, but he has a diffuser. Oh my god. If this can actually get spotted, he'll spot Livin, and he's now a little low on HP. There's a minute left on the clock.
Well, he's burned his C4, and he has no way to get upstairs because they're going to cover all the stairs on him like they're doing right now.
It should be a win here easily for Penta Sports. If only Livin knew what he could have done there to shut down Goga, but no, Fabian takes him out, and Penta Sports come back swinging with a round.
Unfortunately for Livin, he needed that C4 to work if he was going to have any chance of clutching that, because then there wouldn't be two people covering two stairs. He would have had a chance to be able to rotate up somewhere, but there are limited stairs, and unfortunately he cannot rappel outside, so that is where attackers had a clear advantage. But Penta still down a point even after that. I just feel like Millenium are doing a much better job at, again, as I was saying earlier, trading kills. They're making sure that whenever there's a kill on them, they're seeming to trade it back. For example, Shatse getting a kill, immediately traded back onto them. They're seeming to set up good crossfires for each other so that whenever they do get caught off guard, they're at least able to push it back. Even if they don't get the kill, they're a lot of times pushing Penta away and being able to get some ground out of it. But it was just a scrappy attack, and unfortunately for Millenium, they just could not handle a lot of the actual crossfires that were happening from Penta that time. Shate going to be back on the Echo, this time for the middle bomb floor. They are going to finally play lobby, deciding they're not doing so great on some of the other floors other than the garage.
It'll be interesting where they set down Shate there. It's possible to have him in the bathroom, but you can also play him very, very, very far away.
Ooh, some interesting angles from the long desk.
Usually you'll only see a close angle that's right here above the lobby entrance.
Yeah, from projector.
Yeah, exactly there in projector room. But here we see two wider angles that'll give them even more spots. These are 4 angles that can be used down.
Well, and Shate with ACOG as well, as long as he doesn't somehow stick his feet out too much or have an issue with the other door. like be the door behind him. Obviously, he didn't have like a castle barricade or something to be able to secure it. That would have been a nicer play to do, is just have the castle barricade there. Not that they couldn't have used. Well, I was gonna say. I mean, I guess they could have used Hibana for it, but they don't bring a Zofia or an Ashe to be able to hit it remotely with anything less than X-Kairos. Pengu already taking quite a bit of damage though, trying to defend this projector. If they can get in there with the Blackbeard and get Pengu out, that actually will make this a much, much easier take here and depend a bit more on Shate with the Echo Drone, which you did see him positioning around near connector, it looked like.
Ranchero,
he knows.
He'll spot Pengu. He knows where he's at, but now he has to maneuver this. Now, this plays a bit more into Pengu's position because he knows this. He was the Blackbeard that used to spend hours on this balcony.
Contesting people in there.
So it's definitely, if anybody knows how to counter this, it's someone that has spent hundreds of hours on this exact same spot.
Yogurts is trying to help with the pinch, though, for sure. He's trying to make sure it's definitely harder for them to fight.
Well, Jonas coming in here with the mute very close up in the connector room. Haven't been able to find anybody just yet. You see the lion outside. He was protecting his friendly Blackbeard. As Renshir will peek in into the bathroom. Can't find anybody just yet. The C4 will get thrown in, but Jonas won't be able to hit anybody. Look at the amount of damage now done to Penta Sports.
Oh,
Fabian going
Echo.
low on HP, and the Shate will go down on the Echo with 1:22 on the clock.
Definitely unfortunate losing the Echo because buying themselves time is what they've been doing successfully, but Fabian over-peaked that and somehow didn't get punished. They sure know where he's at now, though. And they go for the pinch from the side. That's a nice drop by Aliven, as he's going to be overly focused on those windows. So well played by them.
Oh no, Jonas yet again will go down. Yogurt's here taking him out on the Lion. Pengu will even run out, try and get a frag off of it, but Goga only landing one. Renshiro lands the final one. And now Millenium on 4 rounds total. They're on map
On fire is
point.
what they're on.
Yeah, that's 100% true. This is fresh out of the bakery here for Millenium. They're ready to take down Penta and change up the way that they've been doing things. And now this takes it into our final, or possibly our final round in the second map.
Are we going to see Penta with the same level of comeback we
boy.
saw from Millenium last map?
Regular season, how many times have Penta Sports actually lost a map in Pro League? Within the past year, it's less than 6 maps in total.
Yeah, this is...
We're talking like 3 to 4 maps in total in a year, not counting offline finals. Of course, 6 Invitational, where it was only losses with the 2 maps in the grand final.
Well, this has been phenomenal for Millenium. Wherever it goes from here, very, very impressed with this team. I do hope we see them potentially make it to land at this point.
It's very possible because, remember, there's a very high possibility of both Penta and Millenium making it through to the playoffs. And if they're first and second, then there's a possibility of both making it through into finals, offline, of course, in the US. So I would not put it away here to see both these teams playing in a grand final, or well, in the finals in for Pro League.
Makes me a little concerned for the other regions
Yeah.
if Millenium's playing this hard, because usually we're just seeing mostly Penta and Ents coming out of EU this strong, but you know,
This is not. I think 2018 might not be the year of Ents.
Unfortunate. At least the end of 2017 was.
The other 20 years that they've been playing Pro League before.
They helped invent this game. Nice angle there from below, but
Oh boy.
not going to work out. Now,
Here we go.
a lot of good clear of below coming out from Penta. They're actually working these hatches up from below, which is a different way of taking this. Usually is about taking it from above. So I like the Penta are doing something different, but fighting this from below I feel like is a little bit harder than fighting it from above. But they do know fighting upstairs is going to be a lot more contested than downstairs. And Pengu at least starting it off right, taking the Legion out early is always good because he is someone that gets more useful as the round goes on.
Of course, and it's been a similar thing where we've been seeing even the Legion on Penta's side going down early with when it's played at least by Fabian. Not to his own fault, that's for sure. But Shate comes in here to the tellers and trying to pinch away any rotations. Going back up.
Fabian doing some good droning for him as well. Has not caught Liven out yet, but Goga probably did. Now this is going to be interesting here. He's rotating down to the floor that they had cleared. So they had taken control of the bottom floor. Now we're
Oh no, Jonas
Wow.
will go down. He's just been so unlucky today. And that's the Zofia out of play for Penta Sports. And there's the C4 from Renshiro. Grab the kill. He's very much playing correctly here with the information being fed by the Valkyrie cams outside. Now Hicks will pop his second smoke canister, though Goga will get the kill on Rise as Livin is set very close up here, lower side of the main stairs, though. Fabian will get one on Hicks and turns it into a 3 versus 2. The Fuser is in the hands of Fabian, and there is a minute left on the clock, but Renshiro gets one. He'll try to get the second here. There we go. Livin will get one. C4 will get thrown, and boom, no, he cannot. Livin will get the final frag on Goga, and that is a 5-2 win for Millenium Esports against PENTA on Consulate. Like, what in tarnation is that? That is 5-2. That is handily a victory for Millenium.
That was probably one of the most impressive performances I've seen from a team in an unexpected situation this entire season so far. Millenium bringing it strong.
Livin this time. Oh
yeah.
My God.
Renshiro was still bringing it, but Livin really showing up, and PENTA, unfortunately, asleep at the wheel, as it seems. I mean, Coastline is one that PENTA have gotten better at for sure.
They're definitely one of the better teams.
But Millenium is one of the teams that was pushing Coastline before a lot of other teams. So this is a team with a good history on Coastline as well.
And again, the way that Coastline has been played recently, especially with the introduction of Lion, is, you know, take control of Hall of Fame and try to push into the bedroom. Then there's different ways of playing bedroom. You can have the entire sidewall into VIP soft. You can reinforce it completely, but then you have to dedicate so much utility to defend it. So there's so many ways to play around with Coastline nowadays where it's a different way of thinking, not just a metagame. We a lot of times will say, oh, it's, you know, just because of new operators. No, it's just a different way of now thinking about a site. Because we used to say, oh, we're defending bar and cafe, let's reinforce everything. No, just realize you don't have to do that. There's actually much more efficient ways of doing it, and most of them are keep the attackers on their toes by opening up as much as possible, and they don't know where to expect you to peek from.
Yeah, and I think a team that has been playing Coastline for a long time has a little bit of an advantage in this meta in terms of just good map knowledge is really important when Lion's in play, because it's a situation where you need to be able to roam around freely, but you need to be able to sit comfortably in positions where you can escape or you can stay safe while he's droning with the EE1D. And so just map knowledge is really going to play into that, because you've got to have good rotates back, or if he's starting to really pressure you, let's say there's a jackal in combination with it as well, you need to be able to get back to site fast and use that courtyard effectively, for example, to rotate across.
Unlike with other teams, we haven't really seen Dokkaebi being played by either one of these two.
No.
So it's a possibility.
Could see it here.
Yeah, definitely Coastline could be one of those maps. We are getting ready to go in just a couple minutes, so I know everybody's excited. We definitely want to see this because Consulate... Okay, let's try to redraw through this, okay? PENTA Sports, with a current lineup, of course, minus KS plus Shate, playing for the past year, right?
Yeah.
They have lost around 2 maps. They lost once against ENCE. That was we're talking online season qualifiers.
Yeah.
It was a 2-1. One of the maps was Consulate. And they lost this map, and they lost 1 in normal season as well. So they lost 4 to 5 maps in online play in the past year.
Yeah.
Just let that sink in for a bit, because whenever they've been to LAN, they've either won the whole thing without dropping a single map. Remember Season 4 and Season 5, which is Katowice finals a year ago, and of course Gamescom in Germany. Then they go to Brazil. They lose 2 maps in total. That was versus Black Dragons in the semifinal. And of course they go out of the tournament at that point. They go to 6th Invitational. They don't lose a single map all the way to the grand final, and then they lose 2, almost losing the 3rd and dropping out in the final against EG, but then they claw it back. So even in tournament play, they have lost a total of 4 maps.
And to be, they almost lost Kafe as well. It was that close. You know, it was a 6-5.
Yeah, it should have been a win for EG looking at it.
No, I mean in this case
as well, yes.
Yeah.
So how close this entire thing is, when you lose 4 to 5 maps in online play in 1 year, and then you lose 4 total maps at tournament play,
Yeah, I gotta imagine
That's definitely a team to fear.
they're just not on today.
No,
like
100%. Jonas especially.
I mean, that's not to denigrate Millennium at all. Millennium are playing fantastic,
yeah.
especially Liven and Renshiro.
Livin and Renshiro are insane.
Yeah, and that has been, I would say, a big reason why they're capitalizing on where Penta is just being weak today. I'm not sure if they just woke up late or what it is, but they are not. This is just, again, not the Penta we're used to seeing, not the Penta you're talking about that barely drops into maps.
When I'm telling you all of these stats, this is to highlight how difficult it has been for any team on the faces of this planet, and maybe outside of this galaxy. Who knows? With Fabian, who knows? Maybe he is an alien. But to highlight this, when they lose 4 to 5 maps, less than 10 maps in an entire year of tournaments and Pro League, yeah, it's definitely a team that you should be fearing. And just Millenium just comes and slaps them on the face like, you know what, we almost took Kafe. No problem. We'll go to Consulate 5-2. Let's go to the third one. Let's see what you have to bring on Coastline, which is, as you said, a map that Millenium historically has been fairly comfortable on. Penta as well has been comfortable on, especially when we saw in the Grand Final 6 Invitational not too long ago.
Yeah.
This can definitely go either way. And I hate saying, oh, this can go either way every single time. But
well, in a situation like
this
this,
can definitely go either way. And I'm super excited to see what different strategies will be cooked up for the final map, because both teams, especially Penta, have been historically known for making up strategies within the final couple minutes before a game starts.
I just can't see Penta letting this go. This is too close for comfort for them.
Too close for comfort. But, ladies and gentlemen, let's see who takes this as Millenium bring it to map number 3 after losing 6-5 on map 1 Kafe against Penta. Of course, the reigning world champions, 5-2 victory for Consulate, destroying those champions, and then they take it into map number 3 on Coastline, and now it's Millenium starting off on the attack, and we'll be seeing Rise on the Zofia as the setup has been revealed for Penta. Vigil will be in play yet again in the hands of Shate. Well, very normal, if you will. Fabian back on the Legion, Jonas on the Mute, Goga on the Bandit, and of course Pengu on the Smoke. Historically, one of the best smokes you would like to have on your team, especially in the EU.
Now this is a map that could also have some spawn peaks. We saw famously Eunice get picked off by EG when the finals you were talking about with a nice spawn peak.
BC as well was playing a absolutely fantastic buck.
Yeah,
in my mind, it's the best buck in the world.
Yeah.
Just being able to shut down anybody that's playing upstairs. Now, in this case, we won't have a start in the bedroom. This will be a start downstairs in the kitchen.
Yeah, this is a little less conventional, but definitely something we've seen from a few teams that prefer to start up here. You're still going to want to keep control of the bedroom upstairs above it, because you're going to need that to make sure that they can't attack you from above, which they're not bringing a buck, but they're bringing more than enough destruction to open up that floor as well. So they're definitely going to have to watch out for that. It is one where you've really got to kind of work a few different angles, because you can get pinched from a couple different sides, but you do get the ability to funnel them somewhat in terms of them actually approaching, especially if you can guard any hatches. But they're just going to take control of Sunrise like it's nothing. Drone, unfortunately, a little stuck there. He's going to have to jiggle it out. Yeah.
There you go. Rise will come in, spot kitchen here, getting some information. Of course, he has taken control of the Sunrise bar, opening things up for Renshiro to have an angle, a cross angle really, into the back of the kitchen. The first E1D will get popped, and it's a fairly early one. A lot of teams have been very conservative with the use of the E1Ds on the Lion.
They're almost getting an early pick here onto the kitchen. That is a good start for Renshiro and Rise here to be able to putting this much pressure on the site just within the first minute of the round, just completely ignoring the players upstairs, letting the rest of the team deal with them. And that's going to force Junis to rotate down to try and help here. Fortunately for him, they're not at an angle he can use.
That's 2 gas canisters used right at the 2-minute mark. That is huge here for Millenium so far.
Very strong start for them. Now they're also working a cross angle, but Junis does finally find one. And that's
the Lion.
Yeah, that is not a good start. I mean, Renshiro and Rise have been doing a little bit more work, but losing the Lion early is definitely going to make this pressure a lot softer.
And we've been seeing a lot of Lion waiting until the end of the round, until he comes around from the side, able to get anybody rotating back onto his site. So in the long term, the frag on the Lion is definitely important here, and definitely more important than we can give it credit.
Well, they are definitely trying to get any kind of pre-fires they can. Rise just, oh, doesn't know he's there.
Here we go. It's Rise that'll go down. Jonas, he's back in play. All he needed was a bit of sunlight on Coastline. That's 2 kills for him, but Levin will get 1. And that is Fabian out of play, but with the amount of time, has been able to use 5 to 6 of his goo mines. Now, Renshiro will be forced up the stairs to clean up a mute.
There's a shot they left on the board as that Vigil, too. That's going to make it really hard for them to turn this 3v4 into any kind of pressure, even if they start getting a few more kills.
Oh no, he peeks right around the spray coming in here from Renshiro. He's unable to get the kill on Jonas. Barely any damage done to him as he has to pull out the deagle. That's definitely not the spot to be in.
What?
But Renshiro double taps here. He takes down Jonas, going in for the 1 taps as well through the kitchen door, but can't find the hit on Pengu. Now Pengu, Goga, and Shate alive against a half HP Livin and Renshiro. Now that's a dead Livin. As a Pengu comes in and rushes into Renshiro, taking him out. Penta with a very good start early on here.
They definitely had a lot of pressure on them early, but it seemed like, yeah, we put pressure on the kitchen without clearing out the roamers, but the inability to turn that into any kills just left them in a place where, like, what do we do now? And they're so busy fighting the roamers, because Junis at that point just started pretty much killing everyone from hookah and just playing really strong up there to the point where Blackbeard had to get a deagle kill on him at that point to try and do anything. It was
Somehow
just desperation.
he did get this final shot.
Yeah, but it was after he'd done so much damage to their attack at that point.
Yeah,
and
2 kills and a half HP Blackbeard.
Yeah, and that was discounting the other roamers who were slowly picking off the other attackers while they were so busy trying to get Junis. So a lot of credit to Junis there for helping salvage that initial good start from Millenium and turning it into a great finish for Penta. Now we're going to see... Like, is this going to be kitchen again? No, this is going to be Blue Sunrise. Definitely a different start here for Millenium.
This is why we like Coastline, though.
Yeah, some good variety.
Because there's a lot of variety, and all 4 sites are fairly viable.
Hookah, I feel like, is at this point the least popular, though.
Yeah, agreed.
I mean, it is, again, so it's much like Skyscraper, we have a lot of the bomb sites stacked above each other. So in this case, you have Hookah stacked above Blue Sunrise. You have the kitchen just below the penthouse. So it's just, they're kind of like, either way, you're setting up with ones where you somewhat have to defend above as well. So when you're doing Blue Sunrise, you still got to defend Hookah to an extent. And we see teams, once they lose Hookah, it tends to fall apart a little bit on defending Blue Sunrise because you can put so much pressure from that outside door that you can see right there that it becomes very difficult to hold it.
Now, we've seen with Latin America, for example, since they are much more keen on bringing a blitz, that they will challenge the main door to push into the bar, but definitely not the case here in Europe, as it's going to be a lot more laid back. Take your time, take control of the top side, maybe try to push onto the sides of it instead of just bashing your head into the bar and trying to pull through with just pure aim and skill.
Now they are bringing a castle, which is going to give them a little more utility upstairs. They're setting up to be able to play a little more carefully, help defend or even retake Hookah if they need to make sure that if they start to make progress here, Castle's going to be able to slow them down. But he has taken a lot of damage, and this window is always a big problem and a difficult thing to fight for people that are playing in that room because you only get partial coverage from that little bar in Hookah. And that's what makes it so difficult to be able to contest unless you fight some long angles. But they're not bringing anyone with a nice long ACOG to be able to fight that from another room. So instead, Castle's just going to stay by the bar while they try and pick him out. People like Pengu trying to fight angles. They're not going to be bringing Junis on the glass, something I was saying we saw before during Invitationals. Instead, he's just going to be an IQ, get a little bit of intel on the outside, which they do have a Valkyrie, so that is probably a smart choice. And Yogurts, unfortunately, cannot find a good angle on that and gets detected. Not that they didn't know where he was at already, but now they can see when he's going to peek.
Surprised there's no grenades that are being lobbed near him. Of course, Rise is holding the side angle here in the aquarium, as Habana will open up the side here. That is an extra angle that they'll now have to deal with, and Pengu very quickly peeks in and gets the kill on Rise. They know there's another player in the back, and that's the Habana rushing right in. Pengu balls to the wall, goes in and gets the hit.
He was just sick of that fight. Now this Castle Barricade forcing them through that funnel.
They can Kairos. They don't really need it because the rotation holes were already set.
Yep.
So Pengu does not really have to fear about anybody, but he'll use that Castle Barricade to his advantage.
It did take them a while to clear them out there, so they did work to their advantage. It just
2 kills, no losses, 48 seconds left on the clock. It's definitely a delay, but at what cost here from Mental?
Yeah, especially now that they've got enough utility to be able to do something with the site. They've got a Thatcher to be able to clear out anything down on the site that's going to help deny stuff. Not that they had a mute or anything else that was going to be a big problem. Yogurts is dead, and they're going to be able to clear out any ADSs. So once the attack starts, it's going to be pretty brutal, but 30 seconds, and they haven't really kicked it off just yet. as you start to see people going down. Pengu taking down another one, Fabian with one on to live, and it's all down to Hicks.
Hicks will get spotted, but Fabian will get the kill as Hicks only able to get the final shot on his teammate. Fabian just rushing in, watching the hallway, and holding on a cross angle for Jonas as they both come on down.
Well, Penta definitely not too happy with the last result. They're going to come on strong on this map, much like we saw from Millenium on the first round of Consulate, where it's just like, you know what? No, not going to happen. Not going to happen. We gave you Consulate of all a 5-2. All right, guys, time to step it up. However, it's still been a little bit close, but we're seeing Penta with a lot better time control, a lot better map control.
Rook Dog, are we watching EG here?
Yeah, this is they're going to be playing some long angles. The Mute's going to be playing into that as well, allowing them to play a little more comfortably in certain positions to be able to hold those long angles. But they're going to be playing the old penthouse here. Now that they've won the downstairs, they're going to go for the more traditional bomb sites. Not going to bother with Blue Sunrise or Hookah. But they are going to set up a lot of reinforcements so they can play back potentially in this bedroom, in theater quite a bit here to play those long angles. The question is, are they going to play a 3-armor roam? Is Doc or Rook going to go on the roam and try and perhaps guard VIP?
Then again, you can have the Mute in the Ella. That's definitely something that can be easily done. You might have the Ella contesting as well into in the VIP, looking into the Hall of Fame.
Well, they reinforced the entire VIP wall, so they're definitely not going to play any strats like we've seen where they just open that up, silly things like that. But they are definitely.
Can we, Marcio, could we ask you to go back up and look through the bedroom and VIP window? Turn it. Okay. It's just an odd angle. All right, so everything is reinforced, and they only leave out one side here for Pengu. Jonas, though, will get the kill on Hicks, so it's a very good. Oh, and the right by the Lamborghini there, nicely done. Yep. Hicks will go down.
Unfortunately, not going to be take that for the test drive. They are going to be working their way up towards the window, though, and we'll see if they try. And they did bring a Blackbeard of Ranchero, so he could go to play on that window, but instead he's going to be helping take VIP and Hall of Fame. They've already got the Claymore on as well to make sure there's not going to be any runouts on Ranchero as he tries to help clear that room. It is hard to see all of that room from that window, as you've got to worry about to your left and right. Very close angles people can play, but no roam from Ella here. It's just going to be hanging out actually in and getting droned. Not a lot of flexibility, but he used all of his mines already, so not going to be able to use those to deny the plant either.
Pengu even getting aggressive with the Mira, who'll set up very close here. Fabian will get one, though, and that's the ACOG coming into play. Rise will go down. It's both the Zofia and the Habana. Now the IQ on the floor as Pengu just flips around, gets the frag. Yogurts will try to snipe the equipment in the air, but Penta so far are feeling it here. They're close to bringing this up 3-0, but Ranchero on the Blackbeard. We've seen him do so much damage in the last couple maps, but right now he just has been denied. Yeah, sure, he's a strong operator, strong player, but then when the rest of your supporting cast is down, well,
it's all down to angles at this point, and he's not going to get any without good support from Yogurts here. And unfortunately for him, if he goes to go into the room, he can't do something to blockade that door. So they can easily come for a flank on him. So he's going to need to take control of VIP, which he's trying to do through a Hall of Fame, and Pengu says nope. And it's down to Yogurts to jump in the window and die here in just a second, potentially. Yeah,
the Schwant mine has been set up perfectly here to spot out anybody that moves into the Hall of Fame. And now Yogurt's trying to find an angle. As we said before, Pengu is ready for him. He'll pop the last E1D. There's a lot of ammo in the mag, but Goga's ready to nail the headshot as there's only one spot for him to push through. And well, both of them were held here by Penta.
This is the Penta we were supposed to see the last two maps.
But then again, remember, we saw Penta up 4-0 on Kafe.
Yep.
And it was brought back and taken into overtime by Millenium. So just for this once, I will not count out.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But I do feel like that was when Millenium were kind of getting warmed up. They've had more than enough warm-up so far. So now it seems like maybe they're running out of steam instead. And Penta finally kind of capitalizing on that. Playing this map a lot stronger than we would. I mean, look at that. 4 kills amongst them out of 3 rounds. So Millenium
Pengu back in the driver's seat.
Yeah, he is just on a killing spree at this point in terms of just denying anywhere they want to push him. Seems to be working out quite well for him. But now, looks like Millenium's going to try the kitchen. See if they've got a spicy dish for Penta, who have not had to attack this just yet. So we'll see what they've got. But they are going to change up their attacker lineup. Maybe anticipating this, maybe not, with Fabian bringing a Twitch, something we don't see a lot from Fabian.
We used to see Fabian like play a lot of Twitch. We
been a
just
while.
haven't really been seeing Twitch in general.
It's true.
For EU and NA, and it's just been something reserved for Latin America, at least for a couple players, especially. So
Wow.
Hicks runs out here in the pulse, doesn't find anything, has to pull back into the kitchen stockroom. Again, Fabian, we've seen him be a crutch as well, relying on the FAMAS when really you need him to get down and get fragging.
Yep.
So-
You see that run out that was for the drone there earlier, the drone that is there now, ironically enough. Well, they are definitely at least getting on the roof, but not necessarily doing a whole lot to clear out everyone just yet, as so many of them are far back, doing some initial droning first before they approach, which is a good thing here. It feels like PENTA are playing a lot more careful now, and that's why you're seeing them not lose players. They're getting in situations where they're getting into gunfights where, again, they're not doing what they've been doing the last map, which was way too many one-on-ones. Just the 1v1s are not working out for PENTA. So now they're actually playing off of each other, doing a good job getting intelligence and playing with their drones, making sure that they pressure people out and actually take map control instead of just running around like crazed animals. Shate actually getting some intel. Fabian, though, is the one to actually pick that up.
Nicely done. That's the first kill here on Rise, and UNS will get the second. You have information as well on the third player is somehow uncontested in Courtyard. UNS just sits back, doesn't really have to worry about much. Through the bathroom, they might be peeking here, but Shate will get one more. 2 players left alive, and they're rotating through. They get spotted. Pengu gets one. Now it's up to Yogurts. Barely any damage done to Pentes. Pengu steps into one of the goo mines. They'll spot the last one. Easy kill there for Pengu, and PENTA are now in control. One more round to make it 5-0. This is definitely a map that favors PENTA.
Wow, that was a very quick round, too. That was a minute 30, basically. They killed everyone. They just dominated them. Like, it was down to like a minute 30 left just before that last kill, and it wasn't like it was a slow start. We're droning, we're trying to get into the building, and then it was like, okay, now let's kill everyone.
No.
So, nicely played by PENTA. This is the same spot, like you said, we saw on Kafe. So this is do or die for Millenium. Either they do what they did previously.
What are you doing?
Throwing. The 4-0 lead again.
Here we go. I'm pretty sure our statistician for EU Pro League will be very happy that he has to add Frost on top of everything. That'll be Fabian here to break it through as he'll come in, he'll set up his traps.
To be fair, we did see Shate, as I mentioned earlier, playing Kavera once that looked like, what was this? And it worked very well. And this is a this is a bomb site that does support putting those traps there.
Yes, the welcome mats are very effective. The C1 is extremely easy to control as well. That'll give you a lot of controllability, even if you fight at longer ranges. Very similar to the UMP. So it's a different way of playing, of course. Then you get the extra couple of bits of barbed wire. But where do you set up the C1, or where do you set up Fabian in general? He's still got one more welcome mat to play with. And this is a sneaky one. A lot of people like to play behind the main lobby.
The welcome mat at the welcome desk. Seems appropriate. The bear trap receptionist. Still got one barbed wire left to place too. Doesn't seem to know where to want to put it. I would think he would want to put it on the window, but that might just inspire them to grenade it. And then there goes his trap. So he does know that they're going to want to pressure this. But
here we go.
Down.
Fabian gets one.
Oh, Richiro's down. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, indeed. Even through the Blackbeard shield there, Fabian won't get spotted by the E1D, and he might just try to push out of the main lobby position. No, he's just going to sit right behind. He's got a Mew Jammer to help him out as well. But Rise will get one. And that's Pengu removed from play. That's a smoke. It's a pretty important pick here for Millenium.
Well, now they've got to get a little bit more map control if they want to turn that into anything. But losing Ranchero means they're going to lose a lot of their pressure and their firepower. Fabian getting greedy and getting marked by Lion there. Unfortunately, just working as a distraction against Millenium here, as they don't seem to be able to get him. He already really did his job. Even if Fabian dies, not only do his traps stay there, but he also got a kill onto one of the most important players on Millenium, on the most important round for Millenium. So, I guess not throwing after all. I mean, some of that was just due to good angle, good timing, catching Blackbeard at the right spot. And Junis is getting detected now as well. He has been very effective as that meat before. These Lions catching people and no one there to follow up on it is a big problem here for Millenium, because they popped 2, got intel with it, and just got points out of it at best.
Yeah, and you know what? Hey, Points don't really count here.
No, you're not going to. Top of the leaderboard, MVP doesn't matter unless your team wins.
Exactly.
So looks like he's going to cook up a goo mine just to make it extra tasty if they get into that kitchen, which doesn't look like they're going to be able to at this rate. Last time we saw them up to this point,
Oh
kitchen
no!
right off the bat.
Oh no! Fabian gets the kill with
Wow.
the C1, and that's the thing. The controllability of the C1 at range working out perfectly, even with no long barrel. Of course, long barrel adding the extra recoil that you'll have to deal with. Yeah, you do a bit more damage to the body at range, but you're looking for the headshots, and that's why I think it's blasphemy to use it anyways.
It's a good gun in terms of recoil, but at long range.
They'll try to take him out here, but Fabian is still playing it now. Even up close, he gets the third one before Livin finally cleans him up. But Goga takes Livin down, and that'll be the victory. 5-0 for Penta on the final map, Coastline. This is a roller coaster of a game, and this proves that Millenium are definitely a huge team to look out for. They always have been, and now they still are. It's very possible for them to make it through into the playoffs and then to land, so it's not done just yet. But Penta, still.
Yeah.
They lose out one map, sure, but they're still the victors.
That's what you do when you lose out a map. You go, that's fine, 5-0 next map.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is not going to happen again. So either way, though, a map being taken off Penta, as you stated in many terms earlier, is an accomplishment and something to look forward to from Millenium. I mean, obviously,